Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CanadianGameDevs.com podcast, episode number 171. That's a palindrome. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. This podcast is going up for patrons December 28th, and everyone else December 30th. It's a weekly show covering all the games made in Canada and the people who create them. My name is Steven. It's spelled with a PH and an A, so you'd think it's Stefan, but it's not. It's Steven. Joining me, of course, the other main dude behind CanadianGameDevs.com, Steven, spelled with a PH and an E, but we call him Steve. Steven and Steve. It works.
Yep.
Canadian Game Devs is supported by our amazing patrons over on patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs. You can back us there for Discord perks, 2-day early access to the show, game key giveaways like the latest Humble Quebec game bundle, as well as discounts for Canadian gaming events like EGLX, shoutouts at the end of every episode, and the knowledge that you're helping us keep the lights on covering the game dev scene in this great nation. And at our highest tier, we will shout out any project you want on every episode of the show. Like our top tier supporter, Eric Beer. Thank you so much for your support, Eric. If you want to see what Eric, game developer extraordinaire, is up to, head on over to thebotbook.com, thebotbook.com. See what they're cooking up. And hang out in our Discord. They're always looking to collab with people too. I see them making connections over there and hashtag looking to collab channel. So thank you, Eric, for your support. And go check out what Eric's working on. How you doing, Steve?
Doing all right. I fucked up my back, which was excruciating. But, you know, such is life. I'm looking at the trophies for NBA 2K21 right now because I got it. I just opened up my present for my sister-in-law, so I'm just looking at the trophies, as one does.
As you do.
Yeah. One of them is fresh lettuce, meat be fresh in my career, and I already hate it.
Meat be fresh?
Yeah.
Is that like a DJ or something?
I have no idea because it's B, just the letter B, like just meat be fresh. So
is it a personified Subway ad? Is this a
maybe?
Have you seen that episode of Community where there's the Subway student is just like a sponsored student at the college?
Yeah. I forgot about that. That's good.
Oh man. Yeah, we had a lovely Christmas out here. I went and hung out with my friend, and he lives in our building, so I didn't even put pants on. Wore some sandals, played some Jackbox, ate turkey. Oh. He got the new Jackbox games, so we played the new Murder Mystery one, which is like a Trivia Murder, whatever. Fibbage 3, some other ones. Jackbox is great. I didn't know how long they were making games for. We checked their Steam, and Don't Know Jack 1 was published in like May 1997.
Yeah, I remember playing You Don't Know Jack like when I was in like grade 5 or 6 or so.
Holy moly, dude.
Yeah, no, that was ages ago.
That was so long ago. But yeah. Don't Know Jack is good, but I like their Jackbox games a lot.
Yeah, same. Yeah, we got one of them on Switch. I don't know which one, but it has like the drawing one and all that stuff. So it's good. Good party game.
Let's just dish on Christmas a little. What did you get for Christmas, Steve? Tell me.
A lot of Sophia stuff. NBA 2K21, $50 PSN money from Heather, and then the new Fitbit. It's like the Verse 3, and it's all cool and has like a neat little thing. So, but a lot of, and then there's like we didn't go to Owen Sound, which is where most of my family is. We didn't make the trip, so my mom has some stuff for me and Sophia and Heather and stuff like that. So there's still I'll get another Christmas in January or so.
Excellent.
What about you?
Tori got me a gaming chair with like one of those pillows for my back, because our other chair was like a shitty IKEA one we bought a while ago, and I'm one of those people, like for most things I just use it till it starts breaking, and that chair like would just periodically just sink all the way to the bottom, and like even if I like stood up and like pressed the lever to lift it up, it would just sink again. And I was like, oh yeah, this is done. So she got me a new chair. That was nice. And
nice.
I got an Amazon card from my aunt and uncle, and we got a bunch of candy in our stockings. So that was fun. And
nice.
Yeah, I got a capture card, Steve, so we can stream console games easier now.
Oh,
it's a nice little. I got it right here on my desk. It's a Fosco Max 4K Ultra HD USB 3.0. So I gotta figure that out sometime and try that. I tried to do it for Cuphead when it came to PS4. Folks might remember, and I just couldn't get the sound working. So I just streamed it through the PS4, and no one wants that. You want the nice setup. So I'm gonna test that out with something. I don't know, play a Canadian game on Switch. So yeah, that was good. It was good. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, and then I did buy like a few things for myself. Like I got Hades on Switch.
Yes.
And a couple other things. So
yeah, you asked our Discord. You're like, should I get Hades? And like 10 people later were like, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
It was. I feel like because I played Bastion and Transistor and I didn't like either of them. And you told me what's the other one, Pyre or whatever.
Pyre's the best one in my
Pyre.
opinion. It's just basketball. It's just underworld basketball.
Yeah, you told me to try it out, but I never ended up getting it. And then I was like, should I get Hades now or wait for the PS4/5 edition or whatever, which I'm assuming isn't it technically announced, but I'm assuming it's going to happen. And everyone was like, just get it now, just get it now, just get it now. So I ended up getting it now. And it was a good decision.
Tori bought it too because we video called our one friend and she has a Switch and she was like, oh, I've been playing Hades a lot, you should get it. And Tori's like, I want to get it. So they downloaded that right now. And she was like, do you guys have any games I should get out? And I was like, do you have Grindstone? And she was like, no. And so she downloaded it and like on the video call, like Tori started Hades and she started Grindstone and she got like 15 levels in while we were playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice
yeah.
work.
Oh, yeah.
Nice work.
Oh, yeah. I got you, Cappy.
Spread that Grindstone love.
It's finally getting its comeuppance. That's what I'm here for. Should we plug some jobs, Steve?
Yes, we should.
If you are in the market for new employment, check out Atche Mastawinen Games. They're looking for an intern programmer in Toronto. Hamilton, I think, is where they're based. I'm sure it'll be remote to start, and you should definitely check that out. They were not getting a lot of applicants, but hopefully that's changed since we started plugging it. Canuck Play, of course, patron of the site and Canadian game developer extraordinaire, looking for senior Unity game developer, and 3D modeler of static objects. They'll be working on Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2021 probably, and their new IP. We're both excited about that. That's at their studio in Peterborough, Ontario. Sleeping Giant Interactive is looking for a character animator rigger in Toronto, and Stormy Shore is looking for a lead 3D artist in Paradise, Newfoundland. Check out all those on the site, kinggames.com/jobs. Of course. Oh, you got another one?
No, by the way, you didn't do the hype for the Indigenous supports that we've been doing the last couple episodes.
Oh, shit, I missed that. Of course, as we've been plugging every week, there are so many Indigenous movements across this land. They're fighting back and supporting issues. Land Back Land in Ontario, Wet'suwet'en out in BC, and the Micmac here in Nova Scotia. I have put the links to donate and how to support those movements at the top of the show notes on YouTube and podcast apps every week since we started. I think since the Micmac really got into the news, or didn't, as you said, it wasn't being covered that much, but I, being local to it, was seeing and reading a lot about it. So we will continue, of course, plugging supports for that, because it's very important to both of us. And you should also check out Night of the Indigenous Devs on YouTube, see if there's any Indigenous developed video games that you're interested in, and maybe want to support them that way by buying their games. All right, I got 3 news stories for you this week, Steve. The week of our Lord and Savior's birth, of course. Panzer Paladin. We saw this coming, Steve. Getting a physical edition. It looks great. If you haven't seen it, this cover is like orange and like all the weapons are on the ground and she's in front of the mech and then the logo's at the bottom. I think it looks really good. They're also doing a vinyl and a collector's edition. So you can get just the case with the switch cart for $35 US. And then the vinyl is $45 US, and then the big collector's edition is $80. The collector's edition comes with, let's get some details on this, physical copy with a reversible cover, a 4 CD pack, including original and classic 8-bit soundtracks, a metal figurine of Flame and Grit, the mech and the character, a 18 by 24 inch reversible poster, and the outer box. I have gotten a couple limited run collector's editions. The box is sturdy. It's nice. So, yeah, you should check it out if you're interested. You're going to get this Switch one, maybe, Steve? Side-eye looking at you?
Probably not. I don't. Okay, to be honest, the only the only thing like this I've ever done is Streets of Rage 4. Mm-hmm. I haven't really gone the physical indie game stuff. I haven't really gotten into that scene, I guess. But I know you're... Or are you picking this up, or...?
I don't know. I really want to play it on Switch. I might get it on They might do a PlayStation one, maybe somewhere else, or with a limited run. And I'd love to play it on a PlayStation because a lot of my friends I lend games to have PlayStation, and yeah, so that'd be cool. I don't know. I'm still need to beat it on Steam, so
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to play more of it, but I just haven't. It's just one of those things I felt that I really enjoyed. It was like captured classic gaming like really, really well as Tribute Games does, and then just kind of fell into through the cracks and into the
being of played but not finished games.
Yeah, exactly.
The backlog.
The backlog. That's the word I was looking for. It's on sale right now on Switch, by the way. So, like the digital version. So
check that out. Yeah, they're getting into publishing now at Tribute in Montreal. There's that other game we highlighted in the news like a month or two ago now. So they're clearly doing well, and now and of course the games they're publishing look like their kind of games, like classic pixel art, action, arcade, platforming, side-scrolling goodness. Mm-hmm. So yep, Panzer Paladin, Switch, physical edition, collector's edition, and vinyl. It's over on limited run, still in stock as of recording. So they've been pretty good about, like, it's a limited run in that they print out so many. But if you want it and you're pretty close to when they announce it, you can usually get it unless it's like a really hot ticket item.
Right.
So yeah, check that out. Another game I've been interested in, Steve, since we covered it on a wish list this a little while ago, is Nuts. Apple Arcade announced this week it's coming to the service. They said soon. And usually with Apple Arcade, in my experience, they announce it and it's like within a month or two, it'll be on there. So they have set up what they do with a lot of games that they announce before they release. You can just set up notify me when it's available, and then or even like start downloading it as soon as it's available. Mm-hmm. So link to that in the show note under news. You just click this thing, and if you're on your phone, it just opens the App Store, and you're like, hey, just let me know when it's out, and you can get it. Now that it's coming to Apple Arcade, I'll probably play it there, because I accidentally let the thing renew. So if it comes out in the next 29 days, I'll play it on Apple Arcade.
I think my Apple Arcade has expired, so.
Damn. Well, you could get it on... I don't know what else it's coming to. Hold on. Let's
check.
Well,
I usually... I've subbed to Apple Arcade, like 2 or 3 times. Because I'm just like, oh, let's just see what's on there. Because it's $5. It's like literally throwaway money. Like it's the price of a coffee or blah, blah, blah. So I've done it a few times. So I'll probably like in the next like 6 months or so. Because I don't think games have left the service.
Apple Arcade?
Yeah, like...
I don't know. It's not like Game Pass where they cycle stuff out like once or twice a month.
Or even like PlayStation Now and stuff like that, right? Like, I don't think any of the games have really left. Any of the ones that I've kind of been following and paying attention to, anyways, don't seem to have left or haven't seemed to leave. So,
Well, Nuts is really intriguing to me. It's this weird squirrel surveillance game. We're trying to figure out what's going on with the squirrels in the wilderness. The color, the art style is like 2 or 3 like really bright like yellow or red colors, like almost like you're like looking at the world through predator vision, you know. And yeah, it's intriguing. Why are the squirrels in need of monitoring, Steve? Well, I got to get to the bottom of this.
You got to play it on Apple Arcade. So it's just coming soon, though. It doesn't.
Yeah, no date. But like when they do that with Apple Arcade, it's like I'm expecting it like January, maybe early February.
I see.
Yeah, being partly developed by Pole in Montreal and published by Noodle Cake Games in Saskatoon, and there's a few other developers in Europe working on the project. That's the angle here for us. Lastly today, Steve, Tencent has acquired Warframe developer parent company, and so essentially have acquired Warframe. People, whenever Tencent acquires anything, are quick to not be happy, because there's a lot of hate for Tencent. Hate I get. I think there's a fine line between criticizing a overreaching corporate company, or what do you call it? Crown company? Like Tencent is a big part of the Chinese government infrastructure and all that, and previously has it's iffy too whether like they directly do it or companies who are scared of getting blowback from them / China do it. But there was the Hearthstone pro player who said "Free Hong Kong" in a stream and got his prize money taken away and banned from Hearthstone Pro League. There was the game by a Taiwanese developer called Devotion that had some anti-Xi Jinping stuff in it, and that got delisted from Steam, and GOG announced it and then pulled it right away. So that's like part of the censorship that goes on under Chinese and Tencent owned stuff. I'll read a statement here, Steve, from Digital Extremes. It said, quote, "We will continue to create great content for Warframe, and we will remain creatively independent. Our focus will remain on listening to you, our community, upgrading Warframe based on your feedback, and developing the kind of great stories, gameplay, incredible new space, and interaction you can blah, 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 blah." Tencent is well known for respecting the creative decisions and integrity of its studios. I don't know about that.
No,
and for
not
giving
true
them
at all.
the autonomy and independence to experiment, innovate, and thrive. I don't know about that either. This is just like, you have to say it in business. You know, it's just business speak.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Kind of sucks. Like, I guess they were already not really Canadian because they were owned by, like, the parent company. I'm guessing it's not Canadian. So
Probably
this is
not.
just like, they're just along for the ride sort of thing.
Yeah, the parent company of Digital Extremes got bought, so it wasn't. They are owned by. Let me go to the Wikipedia here.
But they were bought by them, so I mean, you kind of give, like, you get the big money, and then you kind of give up your freedom to do stuff like that. But then you also have the, you know, maybe more, like, theoretically more freedom, or not having to worry about money and all that stuff. I don't remember them getting purchased the first time, so
they
I
got
don't even know when
bought
that
in.
was. If that was
It
like
looks
pre-Warframe
like
days.
they bought. Hold on. They got bought by Li Yu, a Hong Kong holding company focused on free-to-play console and PC games.
Wait, so
And-
a Chinese company bought a Hong Kong company?
Yes. So in June 2016, Leo purchased all the remaining shares in Digital Extremes, becoming the parent company. And then this week, we're recording, Tencent bought all the stakes in Li Yu becoming its parent company and de facto Digital Extremes.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. I know people are like pretty concerned about like Tencent just having like so many like
A monopoly, you could say.
just so many hands in like American and North American and European like media and stuff, but then also kind of pushing their censorship on certain things. So it's just it's fucked up. But I mean, if Tencent were to email us and be like, "Yo, we'll give you 100G," better believe that we'd probably
like,
take that.
It's business, you know. You got to be okay with censorship.
Yeah.
Make it in the biggest market on the planet, which
I mean,
is
I've
now China.
never had to turn down a huge ass deal, and I don't know if I'd have the power to do it. So, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know if people are really spamming Winnie
Free
Pooh
Hong
shit in
Kong.
Warframe. So I
Yeah,
don't know
like
if it'll matter,
this is
but-
one of those, like, until I see Digital Extremes self-censoring to appease the China overlords, then it's like this probably just is a thing that happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, like, based on track records, something to be a little concerned about.
I'd be disappointed that something Canadian is less Canadian as well. Like, I guess they weren't because they were owned by the Hong Kong company, but
yeah.
now it's even less, like, they're even less, like, kind of Canadian, it feels like. And, you know, they're still in London. They're still probably one of the biggest developers in Canada. They have, I think they have a studio in Toronto, don't they? They opened one not too long ago. I remember posting a thing about it. I don't know if that fell through or something, but you know, it is what it is. Get that money, you know. Hopefully they can do something with. I guess I don't know how much they're really impacted as well, because they're already kind of owned by something. It's not like they're getting any money, so we'll see. Like you said, I guess like it doesn't really matter until like something does happen where someone types in "free Hong Kong" into chat and then they get their fucking Warframe account taken or some shit.
Yeah, or like specifically with Blizzard, and a lot of this, my gut, I don't know anything about business, Steve, I'm an idiot, but my gut tells me in all of these situations, it's not like China calling the company like, hey, we're watching your Hearthstone stream and someone said free Hong Kong, fire them. Like, no, China doesn't care, really, but it's self-censorship on the hand of these companies that are like, ooh, someone said free Hong Kong, we want that China money, gotta let them go, or something like that. Like, that's what I think it is. I know, like, China's got bigger fish to fry than like what esports players are saying in this card game, you know?
Yeah, I think it's like someone knows like how to. Someone they're trying to tap into this market. You know, it's 2 billion people in China and whatnot, and they just isn't like China.
It's a little over 1 billion.
Oh, I thought it was closer to 2. I thought India and China were like 3 billion.
So as of 2020, it's 1.39 billion in China. India is 1.35.
Okay. Oh, so yeah. Okay. So that's 3 billion between the two. But I thought it was a little bit more closer to. Anyways, so I'm sure they got people who are like, all right, this is how we break into this market. This is what we got to do. This is what we don't have to do. If as soon as you see this shit, like you pull that shit down and appease them because. It's like you said, it's not China like looking. It's just like, all right, if you're gonna have this, you just won't be sold in China.
Mm-hmm. And like I've in situations where I've seen protests, quote unquote, in China, it's much bigger things like when the NBA, that one NBA player got into shit, and there was actually people in China who were like, or I saw actual Chinese like authorities and citizens talking about how this was upsetting to them, but I haven't. I don't think any of them care about esports in the same way they care about the NBA.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It was the GM who tweeted something about like free Hong Kong, or he stands with the Hong Kong protesters and stuff like that. And the thing is, it couldn't have been a worse situation for them because like it was the GM of the Houston Rockets, and Yao Ming played for the Houston Rockets, so it's actually the Houston Rockets are the biggest
team in China,
like by far. And then at the same time, like the Brooklyn Nets and Lakers, like LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, like some of the biggest players in the sport, were on their way to China, and they had no idea what like that even went down. So they're just like flying to China, thinking they're going to have to do a game, and then all of a sudden there's just this huge thing. That guy's he's not even with the Houston Rockets anymore. So
yeah, it's you can have free speech and uncensored whatever, or you can get into the Chinese market. And of course, every company wants to get into the Chinese market, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So hopefully the new resources help out Digital Extremes. They just came to Epic Games Store, posting more and more active players every month. So, Warframe's doing well. I'd like to see them, try their hand at something else. They had that card game. Do you remember that?
Card game?
It was like a Digital Extremes. It was a card game like a year or two ago. It was called The Amazing Eternals, a new game from Digital Extremes. This is from 2017.
I'm seeing that on Wikipedia it's canceled.
Oh. Well, I guess that answers that. But I would still like to see them try other stuff. Flex the design
on their Wikipedia
muscle.
They have Warframe and then Star Trek in 2013.
Oh, it was
Sword
tied
Coast
into
Legends.
the movie.
Yeah, Sword Coast Legends 2015, which actually wasn't that bad. The Amazing Eternals, which was canceled, and then 2018 Survived By, but just as published.
Huh. I mean, once you get to a certain size, like Riot's making Valorant and that card game and like a whole bunch of things tying into League of Legends that are different genres, vastly different genres. They're making an MMO they just announced a week or two ago. So I think if Warframe continues to do well, they could branch out that world into different genres that might appeal to me more than a free-to-play live service game.
Oh, that's Survived By is no longer around. Digital Extremes worked with Madison, Wisconsin-based developer Human Head Studios to publish Survived By, a free-to-play bullet hell MMO with crafting and role-playing elements. Survived By was shut down as of April 19, 2019. So they're just focusing on Warframe, I guess.
Damn. That must make so much money to sustain that many people.
Probably. I mean, they have that. We've mentioned this before, right? They got the convention too. So
TennoCon.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's the big Canadian gaming news of the week. A couple big stories for the sleepy Christmas week. We're gonna skip wishlist this week, Steve, because drumroll, we've launched our end of the year polls, including most anticipated game, which is basically every game we've done on wishlist this plus a bunch more, and we kind of want to turn this latter half of the show into a discussion about what Canadian games we voted for, you and me, and why, and point people towards the polls so they can cast their own vote.
So where can you go to vote?
You can go to, it's going to be a feature on CanadianGameDevs.com/features. I'll pin it to our Twitter right now to the top. So go to @CanadaGameDevs on Twitter. And it is also on the top announcements of our Discord. So go join our Discord and go to the announcements channel.
Also go to docs.google.com/forums/d/1nbup. No, I'm just...
No, don't do that. Go to @CanadaGameDevs and look at the pinned tweet. It took me a while to get this set up, Steve. I know I probably said for the last 3 episodes, I'm like, it'll be out this week. But we got 3 categories: most anticipated Canadian game, best ongoing Canadian game, and Canadian game of the year. We decided, talking about The Long Dark story mode winning last year, despite the game coming out in 2017, that clearly, there's some, like we were talking about with Warframe, there's some Canadian developers who found their project and are just working on it years after it launches and doing well with it. So we wanted to have a category that sort of highlighted those games.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve,
just like the Game Awards.
Yeah, we're a bit cooler than the Game Awards, Steve. Come on. So hit me with your votes and tell me why.
All right. So let's do Canadian Game of the Year last, because that's the biggie, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So the best ongoing game, I really like The Long Dark. It's really I love that. Did I play that? I think I played that at the start of this year, but I haven't gone back to it since the month that I played it a lot. So the game that I kind of, though I haven't dove into it as much as I did at launch, but I do keep coming back to it, is Dauntless. It's especially this last update, which just seems really cool. Again, I haven't played too much of it, but they threw in some extra RPG stuff. They threw in a lot more monsters and stuff. A better world. It's just really. I just like Monster Hunter games, but I find that the Monster Hunter is just really hardcore and just kind of just super annoyingly difficult and stiff. And Dauntless is just way smoother and faster, and it benefits from free to play and stuff. So it's got a really good player base. I've never played it and never not had anyone play with. Even
listening to you talk about that, let me know if this is off the money, but Dauntless kind of did what Monster Hunter did the same way Fortnite kind of did what PUBG did. You know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Even in the art style too, it's much more it's a cartoony art style, much more. I would say welcoming. I think PUBG kind of looks terrible personally, but that made that Monster Hunter formula, that is a good formula, but doesn't appeal to a lot of people, like you said, made it more accessible and bigger,
Yeah, and it's more approachable, and it's much more easier to pick up and play and do quicker stuff. Monster Hunter, some of the later, especially the end game shit, you really gotta prep for a hunt. It's hard to just kind of play that game for a half hour and benefit from it. Whereas Dauntless, it's definitely, there's more you can do. You can get more out of a quick play session. I feel like. And they just keep adding it, and they boasted that they just had their biggest update with this last one, which I haven't had a chance to dive into, but I'm pretty excited. So Dauntless is definitely one of my favorite Canadian games, but probably my favorite ongoing Canadian game.
When did it launch?
I wonder what yours is.
Oh, Steve. For those of you who are curious, Dauntless launched in beta in May 2018 on PC and fully launched in 2019.
And it's free to play, or sorry, it's cross play everywhere and cross progression too. So.
Switch, PS4, Xbox, Android, PC. I assume they're looking at iOS if they got it on Android.
Yeah, I think I read what the hell are they called? Roadmap that I didn't even know it came to Android actually. I read a roadmap not too long ago that they're going to do mobile pretty soon. So I figured Android would be part of that, but I guess. I assume iPhone is pretty soon, which I'm excited for because that's even easier to just drop in and do a few dailies or something like that and then peace out.
And you played a lot of Fortnite on your phone too, right?
I did.
See, the parallels are there, Steve. I think I'm onto something.
There you go. It's the Fortnite of Monster Hunter games.
There you go.
That might rub people. That might like direct people the opposite way of going to.
No, people like no. People know what we mean. But yes, of course, my pick for best ongoing Canadian game would be Apex Legends. Now that they have a huge Respawn team in Vancouver, with they're hoping to staff up to 100 developers, I think that counts, and we've decided that counted because we've been covering it all year. Yeah, Apex has been one of the few live service games to hold me for more than like a month. Like I've been playing since the day it launched, probably weekly, definitely daily a lot this year, and it's great. And I'm glad that they're staffing up the Respawn Vancouver studio explicitly to work on Apex, because I think Respawn like Prime in California is obviously now doing Star Wars and hopefully Titanfall 3. So yeah. Respawn Vancouver might become like the Apex studio, you know?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. And I love playing with friends, doing dailies. I'm terrible at it on PC, but my friends hate playing with me on PC too because they get matched with PC players, but they still do it to humor me, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I played for 14 hours on our Extra Life stream without getting a single win, and I loved it. I loved every second, Steve.
Yeah.
I want to shout out. Let's pick a runner-up for each category, because I want to give some love to Foundation by Polymorph Games in Quebec. They've been working on this game in early access for over a year now. It's a very pretty city builder, village builder, and it's not the like tight like square or tile based like placing. There is a lot of room to like rotate and move things around to create like a more natural looking village. I streamed it earlier this year when a version, I think 1.3 or 1.2, one of the big mineral update came out, and I streamed it for an hour or two, and the community of this game, Steve, was in the chat. I was asking questions to the chat, and they were there like answering questions as I was asking and really helping me get into the game, and it was just a really great experience, and it's been great seeing them do well with that game. And they also have a great roadmap laying out all their plans up till launch. So if you like sim medieval games with a lot of creative freedom and very intricate systems, check out Foundation.
Nice.
What would you pick for a runner-up?
Like I didn't play more of the Long Dark after like January or whatever it was, so as much as I loved it, I can't, best ongoing, can't really vote for that. Do want to give some love to Warframe, just because I didn't play that much of it this year, but they did get the PS5 update and stuff like that, and
they got PS5 before Xbox, huh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And that's just a big game and whatnot. But I think I'll go with Borderlands 3 because the DLC is mostly made in Gearbox Quebec.
Friend of the show, Sebastian Skini, and his partner now are both working at Gearbox Quebec.
Oh, nice! I didn't know. Yeah, that's sweet. The DLC is like pretty sweet. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, the humor and the like writing of the game is still like really it's just bad.
It's stuck in 2012, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But the first DLC I beat not too long ago, and it's like casino stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm on to the second one and having a blast. And they keep adding stuff to it. I think there was like some new stuff when it came to PS5. I think my dog is going nuts. If you hear that in the background. But I will give it to Borderlands 3 with maybe like a special shout out to Apex Legends, because you did get me back in Apex Legends. Like I had played it when it first launched, and then like never again until this year with you, because you were like, "Oh, Mr. Apex Legends."
It's best battle royale.
No, it's not. So Apex Legends is sweet, but I'm gonna give it to Borderlands 3 since you already mentioned Apex Legends.
Awesome. All right, Steve. For most anticipated Canadian game, I think we're in agreement on this for our first, but let's give a runner-up first. I would like to give my runner-up to Backbone. One of the very first wish list this segment we ever did on the show.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes. Is like all the way at the bottom, like a year last summer, by Eggnut in Vancouver with publishing support from Raw Fury. Backbone has been on my mind ever since I played the demo in third year or fourth. Whenever the demo went up, I played it that day, and it's a Canadian game in the sense it's developed in Vancouver, and it's a version of Vancouver in the game that you're walking around, but in this sort of like gritty detective world, all the characters are anthropomorphized, so you're playing as a raccoon detective named Howard, who's of course that like grizzly, gross apartment attitude, and he's got the trench coat on, and you're walking around. Everyone should play the demo. It's free. It's great. It gives you a great feel for the tone in the gameplay, and I'm super excited about Backbone. So yeah, developed in Vancouver, starring a dystopic Vancouver with anthropomorphized characters. It's got everything for me. I love it, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. So for my runner-up, Backbone, what do you got, Steve?
Have you seen the latest Steam update on it from October 19th? Yeah.
Let me take a gander.
Backbone is coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass.
No way, Game Pass?
Yeah. It's been a while since 2020. We're making the video game. Here's product news that Backbone is coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass. That means you will be able to get it through this incredible subscription service on the day of release. Can't express how exciting it is, blah, blah, blah. For the special occasion where you visit the prologue, blah, blah, blah. Milestone smash, content complete. Backbone is almost done. All music, 40 plus tracks is composed and is currently going through mixing. So we might be getting some Backbone news soon.
I didn't even write up that it's coming to Game Pass. I missed that.
That's sick. I didn't even know it was coming to console in general. So,
And also, I want to shout out the Backbone Twitter is one of those just like they know what they're doing on Twitter. Like the content TM is great. It's funny. Go follow. I think it's just at
Backbone Game. Yeah.
Yeah, Backbone Game. They're so funny. Oh man. Yeah, they're good. I think you should follow Backbone Game, play the prologue, get excited for Backbone as I am. Did you play the prologue, Steve?
No, I didn't. I downloaded it, and again, I went into the backbone.
Backbone's in the backlog.
Oh, what the hell am I even trying to say? The
backlog
of games.
What's your runner-up?
For me, runner-up, a few shout-outs that I want to give.
Okay.
The Big Con from Mighty Owl Studios looks really sweet.
Dope.
I'm just going through the list. I just want to kind of mention a few that, Curve Space, we interviewed the developer. That one, I played the demo of that. That looks sweet. Cuphead DLC. Darkest Dungeon 2, because I started playing the first one. I think, though, it's certainly my most anticipated, but we know it's not this 2021 anyways, but so it might just be my most anticipated next year as well. But Sea of Stars, like Sabotage Studio made Messenger, was one of my favorite games. Like, the game is so good. Sea of Stars is like that Chrono Trigger RPG looking game that just looks like it's going to hit all the right buttons for me. I'm super excited, but we know it's not coming until 2022. But I do want to give a shout out to Sea of Stars.
This category, just so everyone's aware, is just most anticipated because games slip all the time. So it's just past this year. But as you're saying, you could just do that next year probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not my most anticipated because I want to bank it for next year. So I don't want it to win 2 in a row.
And we know from their Kickstarter that it's at least 2 years away. So
yeah. So I'm going to go with as a backup, Sea of Stars.
Okay, runner-up. Sea
of
Stars.
I think we both agree on the most anticipated. Also, if you hear my wife and baby in the background, it's just my wife and baby.
Hi, Heather and Sophia. Most anticipated game, Steve, is Seasoned from Scavenger Studio in Montreal. Blew us away at the Game Awards. Steve and I are both so excited for this game. And you should also follow them on Twitter. They've been really cool. I think it's at Season Game and at Scav Studio for the developers. And what's to say we haven't said already at our Game Awards episode? It just looks great. The premise is incredibly intriguing. And it's, just look at these screenshots, Steve.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait. Like, it looks so beautiful. I really hope it's not even a concern because I don't think it has any chance of happening. It's just that I hope it runs smooth, which I think it will. But I think just part of it, just that look and the draw distance and all that stuff, like this game just can't wait. So, do we know anything about that release date? Is it just 2021? Is it cute? Is it first half 2021? Do we know anything like that or?
On Steam, they say coming soon, and that appears to be all we have, unless there's something on their press kit. Let me take a gander. It's also going to be a PS5 exclusive on console.
Yeah, we figured out it was the first PS5 exclusive, right?
We believe so, yeah. And from their press kit,
PS4 version.
No release date as of yet.
Cool.
Cool.
And a special shout out as well for your game, Sentience.
Oh, that's
Red
true.
Meat Games.
I should mention the game I'm working on. I'm so nervous about that game coming out, Steve. This is why I don't know. Whenever you stare at something for like a year or more, and you just only see the things that you don't like about it, which is a pretty common, issue in creative professions. Yeah. So yeah, but we did reveal it at the Enthusiast Gaming stream, and just seeing the chat go like, whoa, this looks super cool. Like, whoa, I've been looking for something kind of like, Assassin's Creed multiplayer that hasn't been around for a while. And in the hard drive Discord I'm in, I shared the trailer, and some guys there were like, oh yeah, this looks great. I'm going to download. I want to play this. I've been looking for... Everyone keeps making the comparison to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer in particular, which is one of my favorite multiplayer experiences too, which is kind of cool.
See, I was thinking it was more akin to like Among Us.
I guess that would be the modern but as far as like a 3D, as far as like the 3D hidden element, that's much more Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer. But yeah, I guess it would, now that Among Us is so big, also be compared to that. Where like, except with our game, you know who there's one player head and shoulders above everyone else who's like the sentinel looking for the rogue amid all the robots that look weird. That would be the big
distinction. And you know who it is or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool seeing it. And I am excited for it to come out and people to play it. It's I'll say it's coming in hot, Steve.
I'm excited to play. I legitimately I am excited. Give me the PS4 copy.
It'll be there on the store.
I'll download it. Try to get 100% of the trophies. You better 100% your own game, by the way.
I'm gonna be probably one of the ones testing it. So I am the only one who's 100%ed most Red Meat games on Steam because getting all those achievements part of testing. All right, Steve. Last category: Canadian Game of the Year. Give me your runner-up.
Runner-up. There was definitely a lot of games that I really enjoyed. Streets of Rage 4. Was pretty sweet. I'm just kind of going through the list just to be like, oh yeah, that one. Panzer Paladin we've talked about, but I didn't play enough of it. There's a few games on here that I played but didn't maybe play enough, like Love and No Sec and stuff like that I want to...
Unto the End was that for me.
Yeah, and a few that I didn't get a chance to dive into, like Eichenfell and whatnot. Foregone was really good. But my official... And Beat Blast is another one that I want to get back into. Actually, you know what? My runner up will be Foregone. It came out not too long ago. 2D kind of, it gets compared to Dead Cells, but it's not roguelite. It's not Metroidvania either, which was kind of actually like breath of fresh air. Like it was just a straight linear-ish like platformer. I don't think it needed the RPG like stat stuff because it was just more of that was just like just get the best one and just replace it. It didn't really change my play style or anything like that. But the combat is like really tight. It was just a lot of fun. And I wanted to platinum it, but I wasn't feeling the second playthrough. But maybe now, because I bet you I can like plow through it in like 3 hours or so. But Foregone is pretty sweet. I think it came out on most things too. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, PC, etc. So I'd go with Foregone as my backup or as my runner-up.
Okay. For my runner-up, I want to... I'll plug a couple like you did. Boreal Tannenbray really surprised me this year. It's I streamed it on the twitch.tv/KingGameDevs. It's like the 4x3, going for like that classic PC, PlayStation 1 sort of fixed perspective adventure game. That just is a really beautiful and people use the word haunting too much, I think, because like there's a limited number of adjectives, but it was really like, with headphones on in the dark playing that game on stream, it was a really haunting game where it sort of mixes like magical realism, where there's all these weird things happening in this town that everyone just like goes about their day like, oh, this just happens here, and it captures that really well. And the soundtrack by Guidewire in our Discord and on Twitter is very good. I love the soundtrack to that game too. I've just tuned into it a couple times over the year since I played it just to listen to it again. It's great. I really like Boreal, and I think more people should check it out. It's on itch.io and Steam. Also want to shout out Unto the End, a game I didn't get back to since streaming it, but I really liked the sort of Nidhogg style combat. If you played Nidhogg, there's like levels you hold your sword at to like deflect and then attack. It's a bit more complicated than that in terms of attacking. You don't just like stab forward. There's like light or heavy attacks. But
I saw there was a patch, and the first thing on the patch was like smooth out the difficulty ramp to make it more gradual. Which
okay.
that was a big thing for me. Like, not too long into the game, you get in this brutal fight with that you have to fight two dudes at the same time. So I've been meaning to like dive back into that one too, because I'm kind of curious. Like, I like that it's hard, but it just ramped up way too.
It kicked my
me.
butt, yeah.
Yeah, it kicked my ass. Like, that fight, it was fucking brutal. So.
And my big runner up, the game I loved this year, got buried because it came out in like the first week of January. Super Crush KO by Vertex Pop in Toronto. It's the pastels, the guacamole style combat, the adorable story about this woman trying to rescue her cat back, and it's great. It's tight, and I love it. Everyone should check out Super Crush KO on Steam and Switch, and they'll probably bring it elsewhere as they do their other games. Very great, and it came out in January and then kind of got buried by the year we had. So I hope more people check it out.
Yeah, true.
For your Canadian game of 2020, Steve, hit me.
Fold Apart. By Lightning Rod Games here in Toronto. I believe they're in Toronto. I'm pretty sure. I'm more than certain they're in Toronto. This is a puzzle. This is like a puzzle game. Very, very short, 2-3 hours. It's on Apple Arcade. That's definitely the cheapest place you can play it. But it's on. I'm pretty sure it came to it's on Steam. It's on PS4. Probably on Switch and Xbox. I'm not sure, but
I'll check.
It
is
2D like puzzle about long distance relationships, and it kind of Heather and I were long distance for the first year, and so it definitely has like that connection. But I think in general, it's just like a pretty clever like puzzle gimmick in it. I don't know if gimmick's the right word, but puzzle mechanic.
Core mechanic.
Mechanic.
Yeah.
Where you fold the pieces of paper, or whatever, to kind of get your character from point A to point B.
You literally fold the stage and terrain to like make different paths and stuff.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty clever. And the story just kind of hit me really hard and was just really good. And played it twice, beat it on Apple and Apple Arcade. And when I played it, I was like, oh, sometimes the like precision of like putting my thumb or finger on the screen and trying to make the path wasn't really working that well. But then I played it on PlayStation, and with the controller, it was like way, way, way better. So I played it and beat it twice. Really good, easy 100% too, if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, Fold Apart, I loved it. It was awesome. So
I streamed
recommend
it
that
on
game to anyone.
Twitch, and I can confirm the PC controls are really great too.
Yeah.
I also really liked Fold Apart.
Fold Apart. What's yours?
My Canadian game of 2020 is Dépanneur Nocturne from Co-op Mode in Montreal. Played this on stream as well. Loved it, Steve. This is like, it just sits in your belly like a nice cup of hot chocolate. And they've been great about updating it with other weird things. For those of you who don't know, it's what they call a co-op mini. The studio Co-op Mode are getting into publishing different projects. Their team has been working on the side. So this is their first co-op mini. I would say if you like burn through it like 30 minutes, but if you take your time, like 1 to 2 hours easy, you're going to find a present for your bichette, which is French for like girlfriend or love or whatever. And you just go to this convenience store that I think is kind of inspired by like little, what do they call them in New York? Where you buy bodegas almost, like one of those just like wedged in between bigger buildings, where you just go to buy, random stuff. But there's like a very mystical and like astrological theme throughout the store that as you explore and find different Easter eggs and hidden areas and talk to the weird deer lady behind the counter that gets revealed to you. And it's extremely replayable. I think I played through it like 4 or 5 times, like on my stream on King Game Devs, and I love it. It's so well written. Those characters stick with me. The things I find in the store stick with me. Like, all I'll say, if you download Dépanneur Nocturne, definitely ask to use the bathroom and persist, and you'll be rewarded with that line of questioning.
It's currently on sale on Steam, so
there you go. It's great. I love it. It's my favorite Canadian game of the year. Easy. Yeah.
Nice. And Goodbye Volcano High is coming to PlayStation and a few other things next year from them too.
True, that's their big project. Also, I like co-op mode because they're a co-op. For those who don't know, it's a way to organize your studio where everyone's kind of an equal owner and equally benefits from the success of the studio. And they've very consciously tried to put their money where their mouth is. And I like supporting developers who have that approach to business, if that makes sense.
And that's what we are now too.
It is,
well,
yeah. January 1st.
Yeah.
CanadianGameDevs.com. What are we? CanadianGameDevs.com Incorporated or?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Anyway, that's our picks for our 3 categories for Canadian Game of the Year, Most Anticipated Canadian Game, and Best Ongoing Canadian Game. And you should go check out the nominees and vote. Again, it's the pinned tweet at CanadaGameDevs on Twitter. Go to CanadianGameDevs.com, check our features section, and join our Discord. It's the top of the announcements channel. Good work, Steve. I'm very happy with the list this year.
Yeah, me too.
And I have a section there for people to write in games they think I missed, because I definitely missed some, and we've already had people write in some. I've added and counted their votes, their write-ins as votes. So, yeah.
I'm going to call you out. You forgot Warframe on the.
I literally forgot one of the biggest Canadian games. I forgot Outlast Trials, which is something I've been interested in since they announced it, and I loved Outlast 1. Didn't finish Outlast 2, but liked what I played. I missed a couple biggies. So if you notice that, let me know in that form.
And we never really did explicitly mention it on the podcast, but you made a post and I signed on it, quote unquote, of just like why Ubisoft isn't included. And we actually got some positive messages about that, which was nice to see.
I did see a couple people tweet. A bunch of people read the post we made.
Yeah, and so Ubisoft isn't any Ubisoft games aren't like included in that. There's a post on that site if you want to go read of why that is. There shouldn't really be a confusion as why they're not, and they even have like withdrawn from other awards. So, anyways, you can go read that if you're wondering why Assassin's Creed and
if you're curious why the 3 probably biggest Canadian games of the year aren't on this list. That's why. Yeah. Anyway, check out those sites. There's no events going on really right now. DMG is going to ramp back up in January with their monthly and events and talks. Dirty Rectangles will be back. Game Breakfast Club will be back. So all of these are just on pause for the holidays. Why don't we close out the show? Just talk a little bit about what we've been playing, Steve. It's been a week off. We've had time to play things.
Yeah, you and I jumped into some Worms.
We did play. I had no idea that this wasn't traditional Worms. For those who don't know, the PS Plus game for December was Worms.
I think so. Yeah,
Battle?
Worms Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, Worms Rumble. Yeah, it's like Smash Brothers style in terms of like the level, like and moving around and stuff like that, and jumping even and like controlling. It's not the traditional turn-based like
Worms.
damage to the arena. I wish it had damage to the arena.
Yeah, cool. They might do that. You don't know.
The arenas kind of change a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that some of the levels, like there's an event in each level that just like changes the map a little bit by the end of it. But it's not really a super thing. But I like it. It's nice in like small doses or whatever. It's kind of a grind. It needs like a team deathmatch like thing where you and I can team up, because the only multiplayer mode that you can play with friends is like Last Worm Standing, which is like their battle royale one, which kind of, you'd want like a team deathmatch. So hopefully they add that.
Hopefully.
And then we also played Vigor, which I've been really enjoying. And I haven't played what was the game you said it was similar to?
So Vigor will be very familiar to people who've played the Hunt Showdown on Xbox, I think PS4 and Steam, which is it's a battle royale where there's the opportunity at any point to just bail from the level with whatever you've collected so far. Yeah. But Vigor is set in Norway in kind of like a Fallout post-nuclear setting, and it's third person, whereas Hunt is first person. But yeah, that'll be familiar to people who've played that. And both you and I had never heard of it. We were just on the PlayStation and we were like, wait, what's Vigor? It's free. And we downloaded it and tried it.
Yeah, and it's got some like, because you have your little base at the that you kind of level up and stuff, and it doesn't really seem to matter that much. Maybe it does later on when you get a lot of resources coming in, and you can craft more weapons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I'm just kind of drawn to it. Like, I like the idea of dropping into a map and just like scrounging around and just hunting, like just looking for things and then just bouncing and just like avoiding people. Like, that's what I've kind of been doing. I've gotten pretty far, like into the battle pass and stuff. I've contemplated like getting it. I don't know. I'm just really, I'm like, I guess that people are saying it plays similar to DayZ as well in terms of like controls and stuff. I never played DayZ. It's the same
Me
studio.
neither.
But it's pretty sweet. And there's a lot of been a lot of cool moments too of just like ambushing people and whatnot. And it's got like a good death death punishment thing where basically whatever you bring in, like if you die during this mode, like you will lose. So I've gone into times where I just like don't bring anything and just want to kind of scrounge around and just like bounce. There is like just I think just a normal battle royale. Like it says like it'll give you your like the load. Everyone has the same loadout or whatever.
Okay.
I haven't played that mode because it is a little pay to win because you could go in with just as like a one man army because you pay for all the shit, but you risk losing it. So there is that. It's got time gate stuff too, building the base, which is kind of lame. So it's like there's things that I really don't like about it, but there's a lot of things I do really like about it. It's pretty fun. I want to get the season pass, but I want to see if I'm still playing it like a week later. Because if I'm playing it like next week, then I'll get it. Otherwise, it's just kind of been a fun like weekend game.
I enjoyed the little bit we played, definitely.
Yeah, and then I picked up Hades, and people were telling me to play this game, and it was awesome, and it is awesome. How much have I played? Maybe 3-4 hours or so. I beat the first boss. But I'm stuck on her now. Like I haven't been able to beat her since the first time. The writing is like excellent. Like it's super smooth and whatnot. It's really really good. Yeah, I mean it's no surprise that like it won Game of the Year at IGN and was nominated and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet. And it's like I didn't like Bastion and Transistor. This is the first game of theirs that I actually enjoy. So. I don't know what it like. I don't know because like Transistor was just too weird for me. Like I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and Bastion I just thought was kind of more flash than anything. Like I didn't really enjoy the combat, and I feel like now Hades like the story's not weird and the combat just is like funner than Bastion. So they've kind of like to me like those games. A lot of people love those games, so I'm not saying like they're bad. Just like for me, they kind of like smoothed out the things I didn't like. I've been meaning to like go back to Transistor because I only played it at launch and then never again. So I kind of want to dive back and see if
Transistor's kind of like it's a much more like I don't know if high concept's the right word, but like the freezing time component of the combat took me a lot to get used to. But I really really like Transistor, and I love what it does with the like the sound design in that because when you pause the game, the music that's playing just transitions into the main character like humming to themselves and then flows into the battle music when you unpause, and that just like little things like that you don't notice when they're not there but you really notice when they are there.
And I have been watching my wife play Cyberpunk. She's enjoying that. I don't know.
I've been watching Tori play a little Hades. Actually that's not true, but I know she's been playing it. I haven't been peeking though.
Cyberpunk hasn't been that buggy for Heather though, I must say.
I hear the Xbox version's slightly better.
Yeah, she's playing on the S. Like we have the S, so I don't know how much that matters. But I've been watching her play it, and it's pretty sweet. And she's telling me what the story is and stuff. It seems cool. I don't know. I still don't really need to play it, but it's there.
It's there.
What about you? What have you been playing?
Tori wanted to try Detroit Become Human, so we got that. Download that on PS5 because it's part of the PS Plus collection. And I don't know, man. That game is like so on the nose with its like just doing the civil rights movement but for androids, but like it all feels kind of weird to me because like we haven't finished the civil rights movement. Like look at especially playing it after the past summer we've had, like like can we not start like analogizing the AI rights movement like it's similar to the black rights movement, like yeah, that's kind of like
Isn't there a part where it's literally the back of the bus thing too? Like
there's so much. Like they do the Underground Railroad, they do the back of the bus, they do they get so close to just saying like AI lives matter so many times, but like just change. They use the fist, the power fist logo. That's a big part of Black Lives Matter. Like it's so on the nose, and so that it just kind of feels icky to me the whole time I'm playing it. If you don't care about that at all, it's like a well-written TV, like primetime TV adventure, I would say. Like there's a bunch of different stories going on at the same time. There's like the gritty cop who doesn't like his AI robot partner, and the mom and daughter escaping the abusive relationship. It's like a whole bunch of it's like a really long drawn out CSI episode.
Yeah, it follows three of them. I like the cop, and I actually like Mark. I think it's Marcus is the uprising one or whatever.
Yes, he's the civil rights leader for the robots.
Yeah, I like his stuff because it's like, it's just that part of the game is just really too on the nose, but like I kind of like that story. Like, I don't know, it reminds me of like Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that. Like just it's just like a little too on the nose of what it's trying to compare itself to.
There's a scene, Steve, that like really broke me, where you hijack a local or the like Detroit TV station to like broadcast your message, and you're like picking your demands as you go. And there's one screen that's like the triangle, square, circle, and it's like free speech, the right to reproduce, and then square is end slavery. And I don't know how press square to end slavery didn't get as memed as hard as press F to pay respects, but I don't know what I pressed. I pressed the wrong one. I think I pressed territory, and then he was like, and we want a state for just robots to live in. I'm like, well, you're not going to get that. Like, it also has that thing where like a lot of choose your own adventure games do, where it's not clear 100% what each choice is, but everyone's a critic. I don't know how to do that much better besides like spelling out in a paragraph what you're going to say each time, and that doesn't look as good on the screen.
Yeah, I was having that with Mass Effect Andromeda, where because they added icons as well as like a little bit of a thing, so kind of like it's like you'll say this in sort of a loving manner, but there were still times where it was just like, oh, it's not exactly what I meant.
And it's also the studio Quantic Dream has had a whole bunch of shit come out about them too, where like female developers there, that the male developers would like put their faces on like porn stars and stuff and Photoshop them and like share them around the office and like print them out and put them on the wall. And the head of the studio, David Cage, would like have people lower down in the company refer to him as the sun god or like Papa, and like it just seemed like a really gross studio, which kind of like makes the game in that context make a lot more sense to me. There's a lot of like camera angles that'll like go up the female character from the legs and like hold on their butt, and I'm like, this is the same studio that does all these things allegedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I kind of forgot that happened, and I don't really remember what happened from it, because now Quantic Dream is like, they're not making PlayStation.
They were like kind of second party, and then they kind of divorced from that, and now they brought all their games to PC, and whatever they're working on next, I'm sure is going to be PC, and maybe they'll pull in Insomniac and do something exclusive somewhere else if they can get a check,
Yeah, true.
So yeah, that's been my experience with Detroit. It's on PS Collection. It's like, if you just want to like check it out, it hasn't aged well.
Have you beat it yet or no?
No, we're like, we got to be close. Like, I imagine we're close, because
I'll be interested. I want to know when you beat it, because there's a part where I'm just like, that is so fucking stupid. And,
okay, there's been a lot of parts like that for me so far.
Yeah, I just want to know whenever, because if you did the television thing, you're pretty close. Like I remember that being kind of the later half of the game, so I think you're pretty like.
Yeah, I'm pretty far past that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Detroit it hasn't aged well. The studio is kind of sleazy, and the director is kind of a allegedly piece of shit. And there's better games, but something I have been excited about, Steve. I got Super Meat Boy Forever, which kind of like stealth released this week. I didn't know if they announced the release date. It's a follow-up, of course, to Super Meat Boy, one of like the first big indie hits that had like Soldier Boy playing it and stuff. And it's and it's an auto runner now though, Steve. Where if you played Super Meat Boy, you had a lot more control with it. But this one is like, and honestly, I get why people don't like that. Like if you were looking for like just Super Meat Boy 2, this betrays a lot of the original Super Meat Boy by being an auto runner. But I really like that it's an auto runner. Like all I'm doing is pressing A and like down with the stick or up with the stick. It kind of like streamlines the Meat Boy experience. You know, and you obviously lose some stuff you can't do anymore with that. But I really like it, and it's also I think procedurally generated, because when I start the game, it's like generating world and like the seed number, which is something roguelike games do. So I think a lot of it is procedurally generated.
Yeah, I'm not big on the auto running thing. To be fair, the only auto running platformer I think I've played is the Super Mario Run or whatever on iPhone. I'm not big on Super Meat Boy. Like, you know, I think you and I have discussed about how like the Celeste and other games like that, there's no consequence to dying. You just die a bunch of times and it's just like whatever. Like eventually you just beat it, and I feel like you just like manage to get lucky that time. Like if you try to beat it again, you won't. You know, especially some of the later levels, they're just ridiculously hard. So I'm not really if it's free or whatever, like eventually like on PS Plus or some shit like that, maybe I'll give it a shot. But I'm not really super into it. I forgot that they made it like an auto runner. I'm surprised. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's different. And the artist Edmund McMullen, someone I've been following, you know, probably a lot of people have since like Indie Game the movie and Super Meat Boy 1 came out. And he's done all kinds of stuff over the years, like obviously Binding of Isaac, and then Afterbirth, and then The End Is Nigh was another one I really liked. And his art style has always been very like gross and macabre, I guess would be the word people in.
Damn, Super Meat Boy came out in 2010.
Yep.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I guess 10 years ago to the date, Super Meat Boy Forever.
Because like, wasn't it supposed to be a Wii game originally?
I don't remember. They got the Xbox Live Summer of Arcade money, I think.
Hold on.
But yeah, I like Super Meat Boy Forever, but it is not Super Meat Boy 2, if that's what you're looking for. I do really like it though, and I like that they did something different with it. I think it makes Super Meat Boy more accessible in a way. Like there's there's like things in a level that will like time out if you don't get them in time. So like you're retrying this one section and you have to like get to it before the time runs out. That requires a lot of skill, but just like getting through it, I think you can, because it is an auto runner. It's just a matter of like when to jump and like duck down and up, and obviously the longer you hold jump to get over sections, I think that makes it a much more accessible experience, and I think I like that. And I think I'm gonna get through. I beat the first world in like 30 minutes, and there appears to be 5 on the screen, but I don't know if there'll be more unlocked after. I don't know if they'll pull one of those. I don't know. Maybe what was that Castlevania game where it just flipped the castle upside down and you did all game?
Symphony of the Night. Maybe they'll do like the Dark World shit or whatever.
Yeah,
maybe. Reading this Wikipedia actually for Super Meat Boy 1 is like, it's funny how far we've come. So anyway, so development of Super Meat Boy began in January 2009, initially announced for WiiWare and PC. Okay, so the WiiWare version was canceled because the game's file size had been expanded beyond the limits imposed by Nintendo. That's not the name. Team Meat looked into releasing it as a retail Wii game, but were told by all third-party publishers they approached that what a budget title would not be profitable so late into the Wii's life cycle.
Idiots.
Versions of the game were eventually released on Nintendo's follow-up system, Wii U. So it never came to Wii, despite being it was supposed to be only on Wii and PC, I guess. So,
well, it did. They're all millionaires now, so
yeah, they should pull Shakedown Hawaii and just
go back
just for fun.
Yeah. And at this point, you're like, hey, what are you gonna do? You can't stop us.
Yeah, we'll just publish it ourselves, assholes.
Anyway, Steve, that's what I've been playing, and that's it for episode 171, a little shorter Christmas special for everyone. Check out our polls, vote. We're going to put that up for 2 weeks from when we launched it, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You're very stressed about the time. You're always so concerned by it. We'll just leave it up, don't worry. If people are voting, if we get a lot of votes on like the last day, we're leaving it up. Like, there's no point, right?
We already got like over 100 votes in the first 24 hours, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, we haven't done the tweets yet either, so.
Yeah, I'm going to do a thread and tag everyone, because I want everyone to have because some people have just found it, like the I Can Fell creator and Frog Song, and a couple of studios like found it and like retweeted it. I'm like, I'm going to do a thread that like tags everyone to let everyone know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's up. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to help us keep the site running, doing cool stuff like this, you can back us over at patreon.com/KingGameDevs for Discord perks, game key giveaways, And if you back us at the credited tier or higher, we'll put your name at the end of every episode like these supporters. Thank you so much, Aaron McLeod, Canuck Play, David Winter, David Nagy, Eric Beer, check out thebotbook.com, Elizabeth Avery, Hanel, Jean Leggett, Jeff Shepstone, Jeffrey Canham, Graph Metal, Kai Hutchins, Nicholas A. Zorko, Nav from the Academy of Games, Pixelnauts_Alex, Sean Hayden, and Stacey H. And of course, if you're on Apple Podcasts, we would love a review. We'd like to take any of your feedback. If you can just, just open your phone, just scroll down a little bit. It's right there. I review all kinds of podcasts, and they always appreciate the feedback. If you're not on Apple and you want to give us your feedback, contact at CanadianGameDevs.com, at CanadaGameDevs on Twitter. Just get it to us. We want to talk about it. Thanks, Steve. It's been a great week.
Heather and Sophia are literally playing right outside my door. So
excellent. You can find Steve and I in the profile description for at Canada Game Devs. Just go there instead of trying to spell our ridiculous names.
Your ridiculous name. My name's normal.
Our ridiculous names at Canada Game Devs. And yeah, have a great week, and we will be talking to you in 2021. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Holy moly, Steve. What a year.
What a year indeed. Holy shit. Fuck.
Bye. What's the quote today? Everything that has existed lingers in the eternity. Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Mr. Christie, you make good cookies.